If you can hear a loud buzzing noise in the background, which I'm almost positive that you can, that's because of my dad. He decided that today was going to be the perfect day to wash all of the roof on our house, which happens to be right outside my window. And I wanted this day to be filming because I need to get this video up in the next couple of days, and today was sunny, so I was like, why not? And I wanted to film. So we're just gonna go with it. Oh, the other thing I want to address. I rearranged my bookshelf, in case you can't tell. I'm in a new location in my room too, because like we have a better background. The one thing I'm not liking about this arrangement is that now y'all have to see this, which is aggressively cishet, and I'm still deciding whether or not this series is going to continue being a part of my book collection. For now it is, because it is pretty and I did enjoy it at one point in my life, but honestly I would much rather feature, I feel like this shelf is all just cishet. I don't like this. Ah! Anyway, I would much rather feature books with queer, people of color, disabled, rather than this able-bodied, whitewashed cishet mess. And then of course some Sarah J Maas fans in the comments are gonna be like, but, I'm like, no. Our one queer character that gets no coverage and no love interest doesn't count. Just like, no. No. But I didn't come here today to hurt anyone's opinions. I'm here today because despite what I said at the end of May, when I said that like TBRs don't work for me, I have a TBR for next month. Is this a bad idea? Stay tuned to find out. Either way, I'm still going to talk about the books. I don't have most of them with me because I'm still acquiring them, but I'm going to talk about the books that I'm going to read in July. And the only reason I have a set TBR for July is because I have 4 book club books and 5 other buddy reads that I somehow roped myself into doing. And one of them I don't know, like I'm not 100% sure that it's happening, but I'm probably going to read it in July. So let's just do this. I need my water. The first book that I'm going to talk about, I think I have enough room here I can put up a picture, is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. And I'm reading this for a book club that I do with a bunch of other people on Instagram. We always try to read a queer book, usually a recent release, but we're trying to get into more backlisted titles. But The Black Flamingo felt incredibly important to us because we really wanted to read something with a person of color as the main character. We did last month, but as we all know, queer literature can be pretty whitewashed, so trying to support authors of color and authors that have written, try to broaden their horizons as opposed to just being like, look at this one token gay character. I don't really know what this book is about, unfortunately. I wish I did, because it looks like the cover is beautiful. There's multiple different covers actually, was what I've discovered, and I honestly can't decide which one is my favorite because they're all beautiful. I don't know which one I'm going to feature, but I guess you'll see. You guys will know. Editing me will know. And I know that this book is about a gay character, and I believe he dresses up in drag, and I believe it also talks a lot about gender conformity and how damaging that can be for some people. And as someone who doesn't conform to the gender binary, I'm really excited about this book. I think it's going to be amazing. It's also written in verse, which I'm a little bit hesitant about because verse isn't usually something that I entirely enjoy, but I am really willing to give this book a chance. And I think that if I enjoy it, I will definitely try to pick up more books in verse. The ones that have been interesting me most recently are Elizabeth Acevedo's books, because I haven't read anything by Elizabeth Acevedo yet, but I've heard amazing things about her books, and I think it would be really cool to read one of hers that I know are written in verse. So yeah, next is another queer book club that I do on Instagram, and basically the same as the other one. We try to read books by queer authors with queer characters and stuff like that. And the book that we're reading is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. The Vanishing Half by The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Once again, I don't know much about this book, and similar to The Black Flamingo, I'm a little bit apprehensive about what I've heard, but because it's a book club pick, and I know that it's adult, which isn't a genre, obviously, that I read very much, I really want to get to read it because I do try to expand my reading as much as I can. And I know that one or both of the main characters is black, so once again, important to talk about right now. What I do know about this book is I believe it's about twins or sisters, and one of them identifies as black and the other one identifies as white, which is really interesting to me because, I mean, I guess it's entirely possible because of the mixture of the way parents' genes work. I don't want to think about that right now because I don't like science, but apparently I wanted to talk about it, so. That's virtually all I know. I think one of the sisters is lesbian, so obviously queer, like, we love that. And it's just gonna be really interesting, and no matter how apprehensive I am about this book, like, I'm still really excited to get to read it, so. Winning, I guess. Next is a completely sapphic book club, so we always try to read books by, I don't know about bi queer authors, but definitely books that feature sapphic main characters, either bisexual, pansexual, or lesbian women. We haven't read any with non-binary main characters, but I'm sure they'd be open to it if I talked to them about it, so and this is something that we do over on Discord, so yeah. The book for this month that we're reading is, hold on. So I just had to do some Googling because I realized I didn't actually look up how to say this author's name, and I apologize for that. But I believe that the author of The Stars and the Blackness Between Them is Junauda Petrus. I hope I'm remembering the right book, but I believe The Stars and the Blackness Between Them features two characters who are gay, well, lesbians. I'm gonna go look this up because I don't want to be wrong. There's two main characters, and one of them is from Trinidad, and her mother caught her with her girlfriend and was like, haha, no, I'm sending you to live in Minneapolis with your father. And she's like, oh shoot, I'm gonna lose all of my culture, because we all know Minneapolis is, like, I don't want to say the whitest place in the US, but the US is very whitewashed anyway, so like, there she meets Mabel, who is the daughter of her father's best friend. So they are both black, and I believe that they end up in a relationship, but I couldn't say for certain. I know that they become friends and, like, stuff happens, and I think that Mabel's still trying to figure out her sexuality, whereas, why did I just forget what the other character's name is? Whereas the other character, Audrey, is fairly certain she's a lesbian. I'll have to read the book to find out, but I am really excited to be reading it. And finally, for the book club sections of this, is the Envy Book Club, which is on Instagram and Twitter, and it's run by Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, and basically every month they try to read a book either by a non-binary author or with a non-binary character, or both. So this past month we read The Future Mother Timeline by Annalee Newitz and All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. That's what his name is, George M. Johnson. And next month we're reading No Man of Woman Born by Anna Mardell. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Like, once again, I don't know anything about this book. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy, which I'm excited for because I do love a good fantasy. And I think the cover, like, you guys can see it. I'm pretty sure the cover has, like, a girl with a sword on it, which is pretty dang cool. Or maybe not a girl. A character with a sword on it, which I think is pretty dang cool. So I am really excited to get to read this book, even though I know virtually nothing. And I think it's gonna be really great. And then getting into the insane amount of buddy reads that I signed myself up for in this next month. The first of which is happening on Twitter for me. And that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm finally going to be getting to this, you guys. I bought this last August. I believe this was actually featured in my first book haul on my channel. So go check that out, but like, be kind, because it was last August. I don't actually remember much about it. And I got it because Barnes & Noble was having their like half off sale, so I got it for half off, which is excellent because I got the hardcover for like $17 as opposed to I think $35 was the initial price. So very happy about that. And I've been excited about this ever since I heard about it through people who had gotten the ARC before it even came out. I believe in 2018. Hold on, let me check. 2019. But I believe I heard about the ARC in 2018. Whenever I heard about the ARC, I'm sure it was an excellent time. And I knew that I needed to read it. And then I found out it was female-female romance and there were dragons. And I was like, I have to read this book. But the thing is that it's huge. It's so big. And so it's really hard for me to get myself to read it because it's so big. We all know that I can read big books because I have. I just need to force myself to, and this is going to. So yeah, my next buddy read, which is also happening on Twitter and actually starts today, so I really need to get going on this book, is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. And this book, I talked about this in my haul, but the way that it was pitched to me is lesbian necromancers in space. And I think, like I said then, you had me at the word lesbian. All the other parts, those are just extra. I'm very, very excited to get to finally read this book. Next is the one that I'm not entirely sure is happening, but like I said, I'm gonna read this book during the month either way, so it's gonna be here. And that is Loveless by Alice Oseman, which is coming out on July 7th, I believe. And okay, first of all, it's Alice Oseman, which is like, we already know that I love Alice Oseman, and I still need to read it. I Was Born for This, and that's the only book of hers that I haven't read. And then once I get Loveless and I read Loveless, like I'll have read all of her books and I'll feel like such an accomplished person. But the main character in Loveless is Arrow Ace, and she is like starting her first year at university. So like obviously that's something that I'm super, super excited about, and I cannot wait to read it. And while I think that this book would have served me much better about a year ago, I'm still really, really excited to get to read it now, like no matter when. If it has an Arrow Ace main character or even just side character, I'm down. I'm 100% down. So I'm really, really excited to get to finally read this book. And then it also features lesbian side characters, which is even more exciting. So yay, I'm really excited about it. Next is another Twitter buddy read, and that is for Crier's War by Nina Varela. Common theme, I don't really know much about this book. I believe the main character is a lesbian. There's a female-female romance in this book, and there are Ottomans, I think, or like robots. I'm not really sure. But I know it has a shiny cover, and it's gay, so I'm going to read. Is that a bad excuse to read something? Maybe, but I don't care. And finally, on this list, is Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie Miclemore. Earlier this month, I read When the Moon Was Ours by the same author, and I loved it. I thought the characters were beautiful and amazing, and I'm super excited to get to read any other Anna Marie Miclemore I can get my hands on. And so I finally got Dark and Deepest Red in the mail, and so I'm really, really excited to get to pick it up in this next month. And oh, it has to do with ballerinas, which is like a thing that I love because I consider myself still a dancer, even though probably should say I used to be a dancer, but like I still love to dance and I still do it really often, so maybe I'm still a dancer, I don't know. Anna Marie Miclemore usually has books where one of the characters is gender nonconforming or queer, so I'm super excited to get to read this book and getting to see which of those characters are queer, because if they're all cis het, I'm going to be very disappointed. And yeah, those are all the books that I'm planning to read in July, and obviously there will be more, but those are the books that like I have a solid plan that I know I'm going to read. Let me know down below if you have any books that you're really excited to get to read in July, or let me know down below if one of these books that I talked about is one that you love and you're really excited for me to read. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!